Okay. Oh yeah, I just got a note here. Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
See, I have no idea how to do this kind of thing. So should I just look at it? Oh yeah, I just got a note here.
There you go. And so I only see you
on YouTube. Okay. What does it look like?
So unless I talk, I only see you.
Oh, so maybe it's working then.
Okay. So I'm gonna let's try it this way.
Okay, I gotta move my document over here.
Okay. And I need to mute myself.
Oh, wait a minute. I gotta see where I am. Oh, this looks good.
Double check that you're on speaker view. I am.
Yeah, I didn't change it, but let me confirm. Yep, speaker view. Now let me move my.
Thanks, John. I appreciate your patience and for doing this.
I'll move this back over. And I think I'm ready for a countdown whenever you are.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I regret I can't be with you in person today. I've been asked to set the stage for a conversation you'll be having in a few minutes, and I'm really glad I can share at least a few recorded thoughts with you going into it. It's an important conversation you're going to have about something that I think is a potentially unifying concept for Chicago wilderness called 30 by 30. You've probably heard of it, at least many of you. For those of you who haven't, I'll just summarize what it's about. It's a global initiative to protect 30% of the world's lands and waters by 2030. And the unfortunate circumstances behind this effort are ones we're all familiar with. Massive ecosystem degradation continues across the planet. Extinction rates are 1,000 times background levels. Climate change, it's accelerating at a pace that's surprising even many climate scientists. And so I won't belabor this, but we are in a moment of global crisis. And world leaders will meet later this year to set new global biodiversity targets. 30 by 30 will probably be one of these important targets. This is a high profile global initiative. But stepping it down to the United States, the Biden administration, through the National Climate Task Force, has established its own 30 by 30 set of recommendations, released just a few months ago. It's called Conserving and Restoring America the Beautiful. And the challenge it sets out is to conserve at least 30% of our lands and waters by 2013. So it mirrors the global effort. But it uses the word conserve, not protect, but conserve. And that's kind of important. That word includes, but goes beyond the traditional protection done through land acquisition and easements. It reaches out to all Americans who own or manage land. It recognizes the importance and value of private conservation efforts of farmers, of ranchers, of private forest owners, of corporations, ultimately every landowner. And it offers support and recognition for their voluntary efforts to do the right thing by the land. Even though it's a national framework, it's driven at the local level. What it is it's a call to action to pursue a locally led but nationally scaled effort to conserve, to connect, to restore lands, waters, and wildlife that we all depend on. Now, this presents what I think are important opportunities for Chicago wilderness as one of these locally led conservation efforts. We're being asked to step up here, and I think the stage is nicely set for us. Throughout our history, Chicago wilderness has nested its work within larger scale problems and opportunities. In fact, the very notion of Chicago wilderness came out of the global biodiversity crisis conversations of 30 years ago, as we realized that our own lands and waters here were not in good health. We had what we realized was our own local biodiversity crisis. And that led to the development of our own biodiversity recovery plan and the green infrastructure vision. And both of these became part of the foundation for CMAP's first comprehensive regional land use and transportation plan. It was called Go to 2040. But it also led to a lot of stepped up management of our own lands and waters here to big effect. So then after that, as global climate change came into increasing focus, we responded with our own climate action plan for nature. And now we have this next big opportunity to plug into this newest effort to conserve our planet and our region and connect people to nature in some fundamental ways. And I think this is a challenge we should take on. The great thing is we've already done a lot of the foundational work through the development of our goals. And you think of it, each of our 7 goals, managing healthy landscapes, conservation agriculture, adding to our conservation land base, access to nature for all people, climate action, green infrastructure, and healthy water, all of them relate to the goals of 30 by 30. As we refine our goals further, our challenge then is to make sure they align with 30 by 30. And then it becomes a nexus for how all of our goals come together. It makes our work immediately relevant in the context of this current 30 by 30 initiative. It makes it easy to communicate, and I think it makes it overall more compelling. So there are going to be a lot of questions to answer as we think beyond simple protection to this much broader suite of conservation actions in the 30 by 30 context. For instance, what's that mix of public and private conservation that gets us to 30% of our area conserved? What counts? What are we going to evaluate and count? What kinds of actions should be considered on ag land, on forest preserve land, on corporate land, on residential backyards? How does watershed management fit in? How do we retool and use existing efforts like the Chicago Region Trees Initiative and the Oak Ecosystem Recovery Plan? How do we use 30 by 30 to set measurable targets for our goals? How do we make sure everyone benefits through equal access to nature? How we answer these questions here will not only guide our work, but could create a template for urban areas elsewhere, as well as inform the national 30 by 30 effort. This would build on the Chicago Wilderness legacy of serving as a national and even a global model for urban biodiversity conservation. So the state of Illinois and Illinois DNR will likely have a formal statewide role in 30 by 30 soon. The General Assembly passed a bill in the spring session, and it directed the formation of a 30 by 30 conservation task force. If the bill is signed by Governor Pritzker, IDNR will lead this task force in conducting listening sessions around the state during the next 6 to 12 months or so. And from these sessions, we should have a wide range of ideas and strategies for how we should go about conserving and protecting 30% of the state's lands and waters by 2030. So I'll wrap up just by saying that this national 30 by 30 initiative is grounded in a collaborative and inclusive approach to conservation, one that has as much focus on human welfare as on land health. And this aligns perfectly with where we are headed with our green vision. I hope you all have an inspired conversation about 30 by 30 today, and I very much look forward to working with you all on this effort going forward. Thank you very much.